Dilks, Humphries and Cooper will be on the front row of the starting grid. Then Lucas King, Charlie Cunningham and Annabelle McCarthy in the pink and white 113 bike. Then it's Oliver Pitcher and William Round, who will be 7th and 8th on the grid, alongside the front row starter in MiniGP 190. And that is Harry Barrell, then Harry Rafferty, John Pitcher, David Wilton, and hopefully Travis Shaw will take his position on the grid, although I can't see him in position. So I think it's just going to be the 12 without Travis. So the riders are together in position. In fact, there are only going to be 11 riders on the grid. I'm trying to count who we've got and who we haven't. I'd say we've got 11. So I don't think we're going to see William Round, and I don't think we're going to see Travis Shaw. But the race is going to get underway in the road to MotoGP for the last time this weekend in the FIM MiniGP UK 190. It's a great start for Wilson Dilks, but who's going to get to the first corner first? It's going to be Hudson Cooper. What a start from Cooper as Humphries gets ahead of Dilks as well, and a big charge forward to the first turn. Dilks has got a magnificent launch as Cooper suddenly drops from first to third. Such a crazy start for the three of them as they shuffle the deck twice in two corners. As the rest of the field works its way through then, Wilson Dilks is looking to try and take this lead back again from Tyler Humphries, who now leads the way from Hudson Cooper. But how long is it going to take for Dilks to get into the lead? Well, he's not going to rush it. He's got 8 laps to do something about the leader, Tyler Humphries. But looking at the race pace, we know that Humphries is going to have a struggle to beat Wilson Dilks in raw speed. He's just got to try and stay with him in terms of defence. A little bit of a run wide there from Tyler Humphries. He's got to go back to the inside line, but Wilson Dilks will try. No, you don't. Tyler Humphries has got the lead. He wants to keep it. Wilson Dilks is going to have to work at this now, and he knows it. Tyler Humphries holding on to the lead certainly changes things a little bit. I was hoping it was going to be a tougher job for Wilson Dilks this time, and certainly in the first 2 laps of racing, it's going to be. Tyler Humphries leads the way. Wilson Dilks second. He can be so strong through this part. Will he be able to slam dunk him into turn 2? He's thinking about it. Oh, magnificent from Wilson Dilks, but he runs wide, and Tyler Humphries goes back. Up the hill once more. So the first attempt there from Wilson Dilks, not successful. But like we said before, he's got plenty of time. He doesn't have to rush it. In fact, he can take as little time as he possibly needs to. He can just sit there down the back straight. Will he get past him? No. Tyler Humphries again able to respond. As this time, Lucas King is giving Hudson Cooper a bit of a hard time of it as well. Such a shame because Hudson Cooper led into turn 1. But ever since then, he's just watched Humphries and Dilks disappear. Good run off the turn for Wilson Dilks. He slam dunks into the hairpin. No, you don't, says Tyler Humphries. But he might still get there on the exit of the apex. And he'll hold the bike to the inside line. Thank you very much. And Wilson Dilks takes the lead. And as far as Wilson Dilks is concerned, he now intends to put as much distance between himself and Tyler Humphries as humanly possible. It took him 2 laps to get there. But if he has his way, none of the other riders will see which way Wilson Dilks went from here. But Tyler Humphries still trying to chase down Wilson Dilks and still trying to stay with him as close as possible. But Wilson Dilks doesn't even need to check over his shoulder. He knows he's got a fast bike. He knows he's really good around this place. He's won the first 2 heats. Why look back? Just look forward. And look at that. Daylight has already been created. Down the back straight. And Tyler Humphries has no response at all. It was a good effort for those 2 laps. But Wilson Dilks was always going to make this race his own. So how is it looking in the BMB 190-70 Cup race? Well, it's Rafferty ahead of Barrell. But the last time we said those 2 were first and second, they took each other out on the last lap. So I would suspect it's going to be another interesting battle between them. Lucas King in 4th place ahead of Annabelle McCarthy. William Round is there in 6th position, so not a bad run so far. The rider that decided not to take the start of this one then in the Road to MotoGP race was Charlie Cunningham. Oliver Pitcher is behind William Round at this point in the race. And the 4 riders that took the start in the 190-70 Cup race were Barrell, Rafferty, Pitcher and Wilton. No Travis Shaw on the start of this one. He started the first race, but ever since then, he's elected not to compete. But Wilson Dilks is not only competing, but he's stretching away. This isn't a race, this is a showboat. Wilson Dilks absolutely romping away to the victory here. Beautiful work. 3.5 seconds back is Hudson Cooper. He's trying to shake away from Lucas King. Still a bit twitchy through the S's there for Hudson Cooper. You've got to nail that one a little bit better next time. In the latter stages of the day, that's when your concentration can be low. Hudson Cooper, just make sure, well, Lucas King is only about 0.7 of a second away, but that's still a good few bike lengths. Here's the battle then in BMB 190/70. The latter class, Barrel versus Rafferty. In race 2, it was an amazing duel. They both led at one stage, and on the last lap, it got too close, too personal, and they binned it together on turn 2 on the final lap. So who's going to get it done this time? At the moment, it's Harry Barrel who's able to run in front of Harry Rafferty, and it looks like he's actually got a bit of a gap to him, so he doesn't have to worry too much about how close Rafferty's going to get on the treble one bike. So Harry Barrel determined that Rafferty is not going to get close enough to make it happen a second time. Wilson Dilks goes into the battle up front. He's going to have 3 laps to go this time, I do believe, as he comes through. Well, Wilson Dilks is on lap number 5 now. These riders are about to go on to lap number 5. But Barrel has got plenty of distance between himself and Harry Rafferty to be focused on the trajectory. Meanwhile, though, Rafferty is still throwing everything he can at it. It's not done yet for Barrel. Rafferty still fancies his chances here, and he's made up a lot of ground in that first sector. So the faith is still there for Rafferty. The man who's ready to pick up the pieces if he doesn't get it, though, is David Wilton, still ahead of John Pitcher. So imagine Barrel and Rafferty coming together a second time. Hopefully they'll have learnt from it. But stranger things have happened in racing. 3 laps to go for Wilson Dilks up front. 3.5 seconds now ahead of Tyler Humphries, who's 5 seconds clear of Hudson Cooper. Just look at the charge of Wilson Dilks into these apexes. He just knows where to place the bike. This is effortless for Wilson Dilks this weekend. Things might be different when we go back to Cumbria, of course. At Three Sisters, he may not have the edge. At Pembrey, he may not have the edge. So this is where Wilson Dilks needs to take full advantage of the confidence he gets from running around this Teesside Autodrome as if it was a glove on his hand. Working his way through the traffic. Careful, don't trip over. Gets past Pitcher, gets past Wilton. It's not going to be too long before he makes his move on the inside of Oliver Pitcher. Job done. What a ride. What a ride from Wilson Dilks. Tearing through the field like scissors through wet newspaper. And he goes on to the penultimate lap of the race, of the class, and of the weekend. Wilson Dilks, another rider that you're going to need to keep an eye on in the future. Just so much speed and class. And this is a rider who has the earth laid out before him with the kind of speed he's been able to maintain. There is the man in second place, Tyler Humphries. Good effort from him. He gave everything he possibly could to Wilson Dilks in the early stages. But the pace is just not with him this time. Look at the way he went round the outside of Oliver Pitcher there, though. Round the outside of David Wilton, I should point out. My apologies. But still, absolutely extraordinary where Tyler Humphries feels he can place the bike. 4.5 seconds back from Wilson Dilks. He gave it his best effort. But this race, this weekend, this Teesside circuit, had Wilson Dilks written all over it from a very early phase in the weekend. So now with a lap and a half to go, it's just a case of Wilson Dilks finishing the job. Out of the hairpin, charging forward, and he'll cross the line for the penultimate time in a weekend that has been absolute domination for Dilks. Just as his younger brother Austin did a fantastic job in the Minimoto Pro earlier on, Wilson Dilks is going to clean up. I wonder who does the washing up of the two of them tonight. They might just decide to give them the night off after such an incredible ride. Austin Dilks cleaning up in Minimoto Pro. And now Wilson Dilks will complete the hat-trick in the road to MotoGP, the MiniGP 190. There are race victories, and then there are just pure dominant displays. This is definitely the second of those options, as Wilson Dilks just streaks away from Tyler Humphries and Hudson Cooper. And essentially, it's been a one-man battering ram. When they go to Cumbria, He's going to need to work hard again to get the setup right. But after what they've learned here at Teesside, that could be a foregone conclusion. Out of the final couple of corners for Wilson Dilks. He won race 1, he won race 2, he's dominated race 3. Wilson Dilks is the king of Teesside. The triple goes to Wilson Dilks, and he makes it look like child's play. Tyler Humphries comes home in second position now, and third position will go to Hudson Cooper. What about the BMB battle? Well, Rafferty is still battling away with Barrel. In fact, he's got ahead of him. So Harry Rafferty made the move on the previous lap to get ahead of Barrel. So we'll have to wait to see who comes through first. But the battle between Rafferty and Barrel has gone all the way to the last lap again. And this time they are racing each other. They have gone through past turn 2 without hitting each other. Here they are. Rafferty in front of Barrel. Barrel's got one final push. This is for the win in BMB 190/70. And again, Barrel is going to have to work hard here. Rafferty has managed to get in front of him. But is it going to be enough? Barrel will have one final trick up his sleeve. He's not going to be close enough, is he? He'll get on the throttle fairly quickly. They're going to be close to the line. Very close to the line. But it's going to be the treble one. Harry Rafferty just gets there in front of Harry Barrel by 1/10 of a second. That's the battle we should have got from them in race 2. We finally get there in race 3. What a great race as Harry Rafferty picks up the victory in the BMB 190/70 race. Wilson Dilks dominates in the FIM MiniGP UK 190 race. And we end on a positive note in both categories. Brilliant. Wilson Dilks triumphs for the third and final time. Tyler Humphries in second ahead of Hudson Cooper. Lucas King a fraction behind him. Annabelle McCarthy, good solid weekend for her in 5th place, with Harry Rafferty a 10th clear of Harry Barrel after a great fight. William Round is 8th ahead of John Pitcher, David Wilton and Oliver Pitcher, who were all lapped on their way to the finish line. Well, what can we say, ladies and gentlemen? Teesside Autodrome has given us an absolutely amazing race day of action. The weekend has been sensational, and we can't wait for round 3. Do join us for more action through the course of the season. Hit the like and subscribe and the notification bells on the YouTube channel. You won't miss a moment of the 2025 season. We've got a few weeks now to prepare for round 3, which is next month, of course, on the Browra circuit in Cumbria. From me, Jake Sanson, and the whole crew, thank you so much for watching. We can't wait for the 2025 season to continue in British Mini Bikes. Peace out for now. We'll see you later in the season for round 3.